Okay, welcome back. Going to be looking at a couple of little jobs on the Squareback today. This thing's been sat in my garage for a couple of months now without being even looked at. Didn't even open the garage door. Just got in it this morning, started instantly. What a cracking little car this is. Unlike this bloody thing, this 63, I'm waiting for a new clutch to be made for that. I've enrolled on something called Street Weekend, which is an event in June this year. Similar to Hot Rod Drag Week, but there's only two racetracks. So you start at Santa Pod, drive 200 miles to York, race there, and then back to Santa Pod again for the third and final race. So there's about 400 or so road miles in a car that I've driven. The longest distance is probably about 40 miles. So that's going to be fun, but it needs a clutch first and a couple of other things. There's no point taking the engine out to do the other things because it's just going to be in the way until the clutch comes back. So that's sat up there waiting for that to arrive. 74 hasn't been touched for ages, and the Mexi out there. I did put the floor pan in the passenger side, but I rushed it and wasn't happy with it, so I've had to cut it out, and the floor pan itself is sat there, waiting for me to get my act together and put it back in again. So that'll be done at some point soon, but for now we're on the Squareback, and the first job is the brake lights don't work, so I need to figure out what's wrong with that. I think it's just the switch on the master cylinder, but I don't know. If it is just that, it's not worth the effort of moving all these to get this on the lift. I'm just going to jack it up with a trolley jack, axle stands under it, and have a look. Okay, so we're under the car. There's the brake master cylinder, and there is the brake light switch. These wires here, connect to it. Focus, never mind. They go on those spare terminals there. The connections were a bit loose, weren't great, so I'm going to tighten them up and see if that makes a difference. And then if that doesn't work, we need to trace it some other way. In fact, no, what I'm going to do is jump these two together first. If that makes the lights work, then it's either the connection or the switch itself that's faulty. So yeah, we'll try that first. Back in a second. So we've just got a short length of wire here with a spade at either end, a male spade terminal at either end. Come on, focus, there we go. I'll just shove that into those two connections, bridge the connections on the wires, see if the lights work. Right, with those wires connected together, if we just use the Mexi there as a bit of a mirror, if I turn the ignition on, you can just about see the square's brake lights come on. Off, on, off, on. So that means that the wiring and everything else is okay. It's either the switch or just the loose connections on the switch. So I'll tighten the connections up, see if that works. There's actually enough slack to pull this wire all the way out from under the car, which means that it's going to be really easy to change those two terminals, which are mismatched and they don't look great. So I've got some new spades and the appropriate tools, so I will chuck them on there and see if that helps. Right, if I turn the ignition on, press the brake pedal and watch for the lights. Yay, there we go, working. That was a nice simple fix. Turn the ignition off. What's next? Speedo's a bit loose. I have got a rev counter to go in there, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do that today. I do want to fit a high level brake light into the back window. I've got one on the 63. I think it just adds a bit more safety because these brake lights are not that bright and they're quite low down, so a big bright LED strip at the top of the back window. Yeah, I think I'll do that next. See you back there in a minute. Right, I'm around the back of the car. I've got the tail light off and a little bit of the trim just pulled away. It is actually broken anyway, but there is a hole there, and if I poke a screwdriver down that hole, it comes out in there. Can you see that? There we are. So that's the perfect route for the wire to go down. Just need to connect it to, I think this is the brake light one, I'll just double check. Connect it to that, that's all good. And then we just need to find a way of getting the wire up there and then onto the tailgate so the brake light can go up here. Should be fairly simple, we will see. So a bit of masking tape there with that mark is the dead centre of the window. I've already cleaned the inside with brake clean. There's the light, so I'll just stick that on there and then get it wired in. There we are. Unfortunately you can't really see it, but it is there. and it is working. All wired into this brake light on this side, so that's all good. Happy days. I think I'll look at the throttle linkage next. Well, I did look at the throttle cable. The linkage was a bit sticky. It just needed a bit of oil on it, so that was nice and easy. I was going to go for a bit of a test drive, but it's actually started snowing, so I've cancelled that. I'm going to go home instead and put my feet up. I did swap the wheels over because this obviously has the Fuchs wheels on it. I stuck the teledials on it off my Grey Beetle just to see what it looked like, and to my surprise they actually really suit it. They're going to rub on the back, so it needs the hubs re-drilling, but I've put the Fuchs back on for now just because they fit. So it's all working properly. I'm going to go home before the snow gets any worse. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and tell me which wheels look best as well. I'll put a couple of stills up of which wheels. Tell me which ones you prefer. Alright, cheers now. Bye.